So I always hesitate to tell the story of how I came to buy this car because I'm slightly embarrassed. Hi, my name's Joe. I drive a Lotus Exige 410 Sport. Okay, my car, the Exige 410 Sport, so it's got a 3.5 litre supercharged engine. The supercharger on the 410 is charged cooled. On the power is 410 brake horsepower. It weighs around about 1,100 kilos. 0 to 60 is about 3.3 seconds, I think. It has power at any point in the rev range, from pulling away all the way up to the red line, which is somewhere again around about 7,000 RPM. Oh, it looks spectacular. It sounds incredible. It's the way it drives is like nothing I've driven. Up to the most expensive car I've driven is 200 grand-ish, and it's a better driver's car than that. First car was 1987. It was a russet brown Mini 1000. I had an Astra, a Golf driver, which was a GTI wannabe. Then I got a 205 GTI, Peugeot 205 GTI in red, cherry red, loved that. I had two Honda S2000s. I had 6 Porsches, 4 911s, 2 Boxsters. I've had some Audi S cars, BMWs, Mercedes, and 2 Lotuses. My love of cars came from as early as I can remember, age about 2. My granddad used to take me for haircuts, and the barbers in the local town where he used to take me had a shelf above the till, and he always said to me, if you're good and you don't make a fuss, you can have a car. And the shelf was filled with Corgi and Matchbox cars. I don't ever remember not getting a car. I don't remember whether I was good or not, but I was my granddad's only grandson, so every time I got a car. This is my first car. It's a 1972 Mercedes-Benz MOG. So this car is probably 49 years old, and my little girl played with it as soon as she was old enough to whiz cars, which we did from the age that she was about 18 months. Great drivers' cars are different for different people, aren't they? I think for me, it has to be how it makes you feel. Not just when you're driving. It can be how you feel walking up to it or walking away from it. It can be how you feel as you think about the next drive you're going on. But when you're in a car that you get to know really well and communicates really well with you, you relax. And when you relax, you can get more out of the car and you can enjoy the driving process much more. This is the best driver's car I've ever had. It's the best driver's car I've ever driven. And it's zen-like. You just relax into the car. You slip into the seat, you wiggle about a bit to get comfortable because the seats are so contoured. You have to get your back and your bum in the right place so they fit you. And once you get that, then you just become part of the car. And you float down the road and you think and the car responds. You see a turn and you're wondering where you're going to set yourself up and where you're going to place the car on the turn, and it just does it for you, seemingly without any inputs. Clearly you are making inputs, but it just knows. It took me a long time to buy a Lotus. I liked them when I was young. I had an MX-5, didn't mention that earlier. I had an MX-5 and a friend had a Lotus Lamb, and we went out and did drives as we enjoy doing, and I really liked it, but it was too much money. I didn't have the funds to buy a Lotus Lamb then. I looked at the Elise so many times during my sort of moments of changing cars and buying, and loved it, and for whatever reason just never went to it. I went to a car show in June 2019, and there was a guy there with a brand new Lotus 311. He just picked it up. It had 80 miles on the clock. Never seen one before, didn't know anything about it, and stopped and asked him about it, and I was amazed to hear it had a 3.5 litre V6 supercharged engine. And he said it was really noisy, so I got him to start it up, and sure enough it was. And it was the one I realised it was the one thing that had been missing in a Lotus for me, it was the one thing that had stopped me from buying a Lotus in the past, was that noise, having had 4 911s, one air-cooled with a cup exhaust on, which was really quite loud. The noise, sound in a car is a major part of how it makes you feel. And when I heard this 311 fire up, that was it. I went home, I got on the web, I did some research, I found out they put the same engine in an Exige, and within a week I was test driving Exiges. Within 2 weeks I'd ordered one, and a month later I picked it up, and it wasn't this one. So I always hesitate to tell the story of how I came to buy this car, because I'm slightly embarrassed. But I ordered an Exige 350 Sport in black, all black. Everything was black, the wheels, the body. It was stunning. Yellow calipers, very excited. The day before I went to pick it up, July the 13th, I went to the factory at Hethel to do a factory tour and to do some track laps. And there was a military grey 410 Sport with this exact spec at Hethel, which I drove around the track, along with an Evora 410 Sport as well. I had a great day, and I got in my car to drive home. And instead of thinking about the black Exige I was going to buy the next day, I kept thinking about this military grey 410 I just thrashed around the track at Hethel. And I went and picked up the car, the black one. It was beautiful, but after a few weeks I realised it wasn't the car I wanted. So I made some calls. I found out that there was an identical car, military grey 410 Sport with the yellow accents, available at the factory in Hethel. So some man maths calculated that the longer I keep the black one, the more it would depreciate, so the sooner I made the change, the better. And the dealer I bought this from took pity on me and put together a very, very, very good deal to take the black one off me and to put me in this one. So the deal was done. Straight away, this car felt firmer, but felt more planted. It felt like it was wider. It felt like it had outriggers. The turn-in was sharper. I drove home, and as I drove home, I had people filming me on the road. I didn't have that in the black 350. People liked it, and people stopped and looked. And it was just a whole new world. I'd never experienced anything like that before. And it was brilliant. It was like they were sharing my excitement at picking up the car. And then I think that was the first time I realised that driving a car like this, this sounds weird, doesn't it? But I'm lighting up other people's days sometimes when they see a car like this on the road, whether it's kids or whether it's grown-ups. They're smiling like I did when I was 2 and I picked up my Matchbox in the Barbers.